Well, now that I threw email under the bus, remember, it's a function, not a silo for one person. Like literally it is, but at the same time, just think of it as a function. So then it has so many more capabilities instead of only what you think it's for. So we got day 11. All right. Slack. Firstly, you don't need to use Slack in your business, okay? However, it is a powerful animal, okay? Microsoft Teams would be Microsoft's version. Google Chat, or like Google's Workspaces chat, Google Spaces, similar, okay? The reason why I push Slack as hard as I can is because of the application integrations, because of just the learning curve. The way Slack works teaches business owners exactly how things can be better run in communication and a better protocol with their team. You see what I'm saying, okay? So that's why. You can replicate a lot of this behavior with Microsoft Teams, but the problem I have with Teams is it's only Microsoft. I like agnostic platforms, right? So Slack is agnostic, so it's not Microsoft, it's not Google, okay? Google, most people stick with, if they do stay in Google, they stay with Google. They don't use Microsoft Teams, right? If their core is Google Workspace. Now, if they're Microsoft, they're not going to use Google for, Meet or for, chat. So they might be using Microsoft 365 and Slack, but chances are they're just going to use Teams, or you're just going to use Teams, Microsoft Teams. However, if you're Google-centric, you probably use Slack. This is just how it kind of works out. Sometimes, this is even better. I could say if it's Apple, it's Google. If it's Google, it's Slack, right? That's generally how it all works. A lot of startup culture has influenced that type of stack, that type of ecosystem and that sandwich of applications for use, okay? Now, Slack is as easy as this. @ signs are call signs to your username. Hashtags are the separation for the channel, and the channel is it could be a project, it could be just a description of a discussion, or just a group or something. Now, the convenience of it is that once again, you can turn off and turn on how you're disturbed or how you're interacted on your phone when you use it or on your computer, but you can also know that other people know how to use it now. So you're not going to offend them. Okay? It's not like email, okay? They know how it works, so they're going to set up Slack for them inside that workspace, whether they're on your team or whether they're Slack Connect, business to business, whatever. It's less offensive because people can adjust way more. And remember what I said, if it's collaborative and you're all in the same channel, when the users are all in the same channel, you can do call outs, you can have the call outs only. There's so many things, but here's what you need to know. You can see what people read, right? And so if someone says something in the channel and there's 20 people viewing it, you can tell that everybody viewed it. That's that whole check first, ask second. Done. So this whole chat-based communication could be for project management, or it could just be for communication, or it could be for sharing pieces of information, whatever. There's a lot of potential. And it's like that understanding what Slack's for and not just casting it aside because you're like, oh, email does the same thing. No, it does not. Email is silo-based. Unless you have email attached to some sort of application for channel-based email function, right? Sales @ accounts @ finance @ whatever, accounting @ I don't care. Whatever it is. Those could be channel-based emails with function, and those can be associated to a channel. That channel could be, through something like Front. There's another application, front.com. It's amazing. Okay, this is what I'm saying. There's so many different ways to look at this, but if you understand how Slack works, then we have this idea that you understand how Microsoft Teams works, vice versa, right? And then you can also start to enhance your business that's based on like those ideas. So it's like once you get that across to like, to a business owner, they're like, oh my God, now the automation starts to make sense. The automatic technologies start to make more sense. Slack bot, which is a bot. Bots start to make more sense, okay? Now you can see how we're going to keep building this business. Because if you've got Slack or Microsoft Teams or Google at your fingertips and not just email, it's another layer. Another better layer. Or you could start to funnel things into like points where they make more sense when they're done a certain way with a certain platform. But you having exposure to this is necessary as a business owner. So now I'm putting in the toolbox for you and your team, Slack or Microsoft Teams or Google Chat, whatever, but we'll figure it out. Why do I like it? That's probably a good segue. Why do I like it? I like it because of Slack Connect. What I found a while ago, and when that service started getting offered inside the Slack platform, I realized that you can actually ask other people that have other businesses to join channels that you create. So why is that awesome? Well, that's awesome because they can control their own Slack workspace and you can control your own Slack workspace. What team members have access to what and who's in what and who is not going to be you fully in control of their Slack life. So now you have this like shared understanding that the workspace is only shared through that channel. That becomes great because if you get really specific on certain projects or tasks or join forces on certain things or whatever, then you can both just be in the same, you can assign team members in certain channels for certain things, and that'll limit who has communication exposure in B2B, right? That's why I use it, because the majority of the stuff that we do over here is B2B, right? Obviously. So by doing that, I'm not invading someone else's, their bandwidth, because they know how to set up Slack for them, and we set up Slack for us over here. Most of the stuff is Slack Connect over here, all right? And that's because it can be easily, I just have to ask. So if we have projects that we have that start up with other people and other businesses, when we join forces through Slack Connect. See, the project sharing capabilities, business to business, is far superior than Teams. Far superior than Teams in Slack, okay? So now, chat-based communication is now a thing. So now you know that you don't have to depend on email for internal communication. Email for internal communication is a no. It should be a no unless it's sending something, unless it's connected to some sort of platform for another purpose. Do you hear what I'm saying? Okay, same with Teams, but Teams does a better lens because it's looking at the entire SharePoint, OneDrive, and stuff like that. I won't get too technical, but I'm just saying this whole chat-based project management and communication is not going anywhere, and it's way better than email. And so now you have that understanding. We can go even further and further and further away from these archaic tools. And also, as we turn on, this is what you need to know, as you turn on all of the auto flow inside all of your native integrated applications in your app stack, in your model, when we start turning on all of the automated technologies, they may integrate with Slack. And if they do, boom, way more cool shit happens. That's why I promote it. Because I'm looking at it from the dashboard back. And if you're looking at a dashboard backwards, you're going to have the most automated technologies and the most automatic technologies enabled just because you can, right? Between dashboard and the model, your app stack, are going to be these other tools. And if they work well and they play well together and you turn on all the automatic technologies, it just gets tight as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like it just gets better and better and better. And as these SaaS platforms continue to release new features and advance and evolve, you're already there. and it's already connected. So it's just a matter of just knowing these new features and having a company like the Automated Method help you through this process consistently so that it just keeps getting better and better and better and better. It's not going to get worse. It's not going to get worse. It's just going to get more refined and better. That's how it works. Okay? Whew, it's a good one.